Thank you, Steve. Good evening, everybody. Well, he found himself at the centre of speculation about his future a week or so ago, not least because of the defeat at Stamford Bridge. Even some speculation about Carlo Ancelotti's future after the Champions League exit in the middle of last month. But now both managers are just a step away from a cup final. Maybe a bigger step for Villa after their dismantling at Stamford Bridge 2 weeks ago. You don't forget 7-1 defeats in a hurry. But is this a day of atonement for Martin O'Neill's team, or another game closer to a League and Cup double to crown Carlo Ancelotti's first season in charge of Chelsea? We had cup final weather this morning. It's clouded over a little now. It's one of those games that can make or break a season. Both Aston Villa and Chelsea still have a handful of vital league games to play, but they could maybe just enjoy them a little bit more with an FA Cup final to look forward to. Andy Townsend, who led out each of these clubs in his playing days. Do you ever suffer a 7-goal hiding?
Unfortunately, a couple of times, Clive. I remember once at Southampton years ago against David Pleat's Luton on that plastic pitch, and then again for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. So I've been on the receiving end. I know what it's like. It's not nice, but for Villa today, they either fear this occasion, dread playing Chelsea, or they use that result as a bit of a spur, an extra reason to perform and to somehow eradicate that from their memory.
Carlos Cuellar here is the one Aston Villa player who didn't figure in the 7-1 defeat. Maybe he's less scarred than the others. Forward by Yuri Zhirkov, who won a couple of penalties for Chelsea that day. Drogba back to Deco. Now Lampard. Joe Cole. Big day for him and several Aston Villa players, with Fabio Capello in attendance. But that's loose from Ferreira, and here's John Carew. Little isolated.
I think when that's going to be a key factor in this game. When they turn possession over Aston Villa, when they nick possession off of Chelsea, they've got to be very positive, get the ball forward as quick as they can. Pacey players on either flank, of course Agbonlahor down the middle. So don't disappoint Chelsea in that aspect, Clive. Get at them as early and as quickly as you can.
Malouda. Deco couldn't quite gather it in. James Milner losing his footing on a pitch that was relayed completely 3 weeks ago. This is the first major sporting occasion to have been played on this particular surface.
Again, just seeing if one or two of the players just losing their... I mean, I was down there before the game. It's perfect, it's beautiful. It really is, and it's a lot better than it was for the Carling Cup final. I don't think we'll have too many complaints today. You're going to get the odd one slipping a little bit, particularly early in the game, till you just adjust your foot in a bit.
Another semi-final to come on the same surface tomorrow afternoon, don't forget. That game also live here on ITV1 with a slightly earlier start, on air at 3:30 tomorrow. Tottenham against Portsmouth. Forward by Milner. Here's Agbonlahor, who embarrassed Manchester United at the start of the Carling Cup final. Terry just managed to stand his ground. Support from Ashley Young. Crossed in and headed away, very importantly, by Alex.
Yeah, that's positive start for Villa. Whenever Agbonlahor gets the opportunity, he didn't quite get the chance to turn and run at John Terry there. Again, important that he does that when he can. They've got a lot of big players obviously getting into the box. Villa here, Dunn, Collins, Cuellar, they're all big men.
Twice at Villa Park, Villa scored against Chelsea from corners. Check with a punch. Away by Joe Cole. And let's not forget, Aston Villa did beat Chelsea in the home fixture back in October. On by Dunn, who's still forward. Away by Alex, and here's Mikel, and Richard Dunn took a tumble there off the ball. Zhirkov getting forward. And Downing getting back with him. Never played in an FA Cup semi-final. There's a champion and European champion footballer with Nottingham Forest, Martin O'Neill. Carlo Ancelotti won 3 Italian Cups as a player. But it doesn't mean what it means to the English in Italy in the cup competition. Loose from Deco.
Villa setting up, of course, with Stuart Downing on the right-hand side with his left foot. Of course, Ashley Young, we know, likes to dip back, check in on his right foot to deliver something possibly for Agbonlahor and Carew.
Here is Gabi Agbonlahor. Decision's gone against him. But he's playing up front in very much a 4-4-2 for Aston Villa. Chelsea now more recognisable as a 4-3-3 system, really.
Yeah, I think so. Deco, that suits him a little bit better when you've got him playing in the middle of the park. He's not going to get in and around people. He wants to always try and find a pocket.
Lampard seeking out Drogba, slightly overhead.
Yeah, it's going to be a very fast surface today, Clive, for sure. Any ball that is hit over that sort of distance, as Lampard's just trying to find Drogba there, it's going to be extremely accurate, because once it hits the turf, it's going to fly away.
It was heavily watered just 10-15 minutes before kick-off. Even between the players completing their warm-up and then reappearing in the ceremonial line. Milner to Downing. A lot of players slipping. Downing with a chance to run Yuri Zhirkov. His challenge is good and Chelsea get the decision.
Yeah, Downing disappointed. That's exactly the right idea, though. Every time he gets it, even though Zhirkov will be expecting Downing to check back inside on his left foot, got to mix it up. Look to take him on the outside.
Deco was rather looking for that, but Petrov sold himself. Both teams have had major cup disappointments to weather in the last few weeks, but only Chelsea have beaten Villa since the Carling Cup final here at the end of February, and nobody has beaten Chelsea since their Champions League exit 3.5 weeks ago now. So one of those recoveries will suffer a huge setback here this evening. We must get a decision, no replay. If it's a draw after 90 minutes, we get an extra time, and possibly even beyond that to penalties. Young trying to combine with Agbonlahor, picked off by Alex. Ferreira to Cole. Zhirkov. Deco. Easy enough for James Collins. Throw into Aston Villa. Little nudge there by Carew.
He's been in great form lately, John Carew. He has a terrific goal-scoring form. Not the way he started probably as many games as he would like for Villa, but no problems lately. He really has been on fire.
Leading scorer in this season's FA Cup, number 10 for Aston Villa, John Carew. Here's Flora Malouda. Frank Lampard to Deco. Joe Cole. Well met by Petrov. This is Ashley Young. Not quite on the same wavelength as Agbonlahor. Was looking for a ball beyond Alex. Malouda. Lampard is trying to slip it through to Drogba. Comfortable enough for Dunn. Held up by Carew. Milner. Plenty of movement right and left. This will go over Agbonlahor for Young to chase. And although he's able to keep it in terms of preventing a goal kick, it is a throw-in for Chelsea.
Just wondered if that switch was on maybe moments earlier for James Milner. When it first popped back to him from Carew, he could have just put the right foot straight through it. He knows that Ashley Young and Agbonlahor out there, they're looking for anything in behind Alex.
Collins. Carew's been penalised anyway for barging into Paulo Ferreira.
Yeah, again, simple foul here, I'm afraid. Just looking at the ball, only a little nudge. It's just enough to send Paulo Ferreira tumbling. It's a reasonable start, though, to the game by Villa, considering what happened a few weeks ago. They'll be happy that they've bounced the ball into their front men a few times.
Drop bar up in front of Collins. Malouda benefiting. Just showed it to Cuellar, then whisked it away from him. Joe Cole. Yuri Shirkov. Now Floro Malouda. Shirkov on the overlap. It was a deflected cross and it's gone behind for a corner kick to Chelsea.
Floro Malouda looks like he's on this corner, Clive, so a big out-swinging corner. Lots of big, powerful men who all love attacking the ball, defensively and attacking here.
Malouda takes towards the head of Alex, and although he won it, he couldn't control it.
Yeah, just a little bit too loopy, the corner, and a little bit big. Alex having to backpedal, therefore can't quite get the power on it. Those out-swinging corners, often you're looking at the second ball when it's nodded down back into the 6-yard box, and he's been outstanding, Floro Malouda, for Chelsea recently. Such an improved player, a real presence for his team now.
Named the Premier League's Player of the Month just yesterday, Floro Malouda. Carew. Terry with time. Shirkov to Mikel. Joe Cole getting up in front of Dunn. But Malouda beaten to it by Cuellar, and now Mikel. And here's Lampard. Joe Cole. He's wrong-footed Cuellar and gone for glory. Friedel had it covered. Well, Joe Cole is on the up. He's had a strange last year or so. Watched last year's semi and final, having been badly injured in the third round of the competition, but he seems to be finding his best form now.
Yeah, he certainly is. It's good to see him back, Joe, as well. I think he's an important player for England this summer when you consider the likes of Wright Phillips and Walcott and Lennon, etc. All very similar. He gives them something different already. Seeing James Milner there changing the boots, really should have done all of that. They should have tested all of that. Been out there long enough before the game.
The pitch has caught one or two players by surprise. Milner, the first to slip. It might not be the last tyre change we see.
Yep.
Young, away by Alex, little flick from Drogba, who ran into Dunn. Heavy touch from Young. Cole, Young got back to him, headed forward by Warnock. Milner back with us, beaten to it by Deco. Here's Cole, tried to slide it between centre-back and full-back for Drogba, for Malouda, I should say. Carew did well. This is Akbon-Lahore, quickly into the path of Ashley Young. And quickly he has support, left and right. Young's cross, mishit.
That's a waste, Clive, that is, because Stephen Warnock's made a great run. No problem ignoring him. He knew he was there, I'm sure, but the minute he does decide to check inside, he's got to produce something better than that. It's better play, though, the little nick into Akbon-Lahore, then out wide. Full-back bombing forward as well. That's a decent start. And he'll have had his eyes on plenty of players today, no doubt, Clive.
Joe Cole, Ashley Young, Stuart Downing, Gabby Akbon-Lahore, Stephen Warnock, James Milner. Not a great day for Emil Heskey to be sitting on the bench. He hasn't played in England's last two internationals. But all of those players have question marks of one kind or another against either their chances of making the plane or how Capello might use them during the summer. And this is a big stage on which to impress the main man. Here's Akbon-Lahore. Picked up by Ferreira, won back momentarily by Petrov. Let's make a welcome change for Capello to come to a big game and find so many Englishmen on the field.
Plenty out there to see, exactly right. It's an important time now, it is. Obviously, for your clubs, of course, we all know the run-ins to league titles and cup finals, it's massive. But all of those players that are in and around the England camp will also, of course, be thinking big time now about what's happening in the summer.
Animated Chelsea coach.
I think that says he'd just like to see people a little bit tighter, a little bit closer.
Carew. Petrov's pass is a good one. James Milner strikes it. Ooh, that wasn't very far away. Check dived. I'm not sure that his outstretched hand quite had it covered, but James Milner was allowed space there. Yeah,
good play again. Link up between Petrov and Milner. Maybe could have took a touch. He's got a great shot on him. He's got the goalkeeper scrambling for sure. It's a nice positive start from Aston Villa, this one. Drogba's hardly been in the game for Chelsea. Villa definitely in the ascendancy at the moment.
Scored here in the Carling Cup final, albeit from the penalty spot, James Milner. Carew just tumbled by Deco. Certainly Aston Villa have been the equal of Chelsea in these opening 15 minutes. Warnock with the free kick. Collins forces it down. Akbon Lahore, down he goes! Oh, Howard Webb had a good long look and says nothing doing. Obi Mikel made the challenge. Why did he go down if he wasn't fouled?
He looks like he's just about to put his left foot right through it. That's a big, big call. Martin O'Neill is absolutely furious. You can understand why, because Akbon Lahore's done the hard bit. He's rolled the defender, he now just wants to hit it. He's backing into Mikel, he's got his shirt, he's backing in. Right, that's a penalty. It must be a penalty. He's impeded him, he's put his right leg out. He's got nowhere near the ball, Mikel. Whether or not he'd have got that shot away before the tackle from Zhirkov or Ferreira, whoever it was, comes in, I'm not sure, but there's no way Mikel's getting the ball there.
And if it's a foul, does the Chelsea player have to go?
There's all sorts of connotations from that.
Well, right at the start of the Carling Cup final, Aston Villa did get a penalty. They didn't get the red card for Nemanja Vidic that they felt they should have had that day. And Martin O'Neill still goes on about it.
It's a massive moment in the game, that really is.
Drogba. And that top surface is tricky. Players are finding it difficult to change direction quickly. Howard Webb, England's World Cup Finals representative, our leading referee, with a big, big call. No doubt in my mind that Akbon Lahore was pulling the shirt of Mikel as the ball was played into him, but two wrongs don't make a right.
All strikers will do that, Clive. They'll pin the last man. That's part and parcel of what you do when you back into someone. You will, if they want to get that close.
He was pulling his shirt, though, Andy. He was actually pulling his shirt. But either way, the decision has been given on the challenge that this man, Mikel, made, and Howard Webb saw nothing wrong with it. And saw nothing wrong with that either. Petrov on Lampard. Now it's a free kick to Aston Villa.
Let's have another look at it. You'll see from this angle again, the leg's outstretched. He's trying to get the ball, gets nowhere near the ball, Clive. I think that's a penalty, I really do.
Well, he kicks every ball, even when the ball's inside his own half of the field, but when it's in the opponent's penalty area and his striker goes down, Martin O'Neill feels it as if the foul was on him. Carew shrugs off Terry and then doesn't begin to get hold of the shot.
Well, despite that disappointment, I think Martin O'Neill will be delighted with the way his team have started. First 18 minutes, I think, played far more of the game in Chelsea's last third. He'll be very pleased with that.
Deco. Cole. His turn to stumble. It's a terrible clearance from Milner. This is Lampard trying to play it into Joe Cole. Well met by Milner, who atoned for his error.
Had to get that right for sure.
Petrov. Milner. Downing. Cuellar stretching to offer him an overlap. Here is Carlos Cuellar. 3 in the box waiting. Turn behind for a corner kick by John Terry.
Good play again from Villa. I think it's a disappointing delivery in the end from Carlos Cuellar after making a long 40-yard run. He just needs to stand that up for Carew, give him something to attack.
I was tired just watching him. He didn't have a lot left in the tank when it came across it. Downing with a corner. Czech choosing to punch. Milner. Stilian Petrov. He slipped as he hit that too. Standing foot went from beneath him. Cuellar. Done to Warner. Concerted pressure here from Aston Villa. Akbonlahor. Luke Young is free, and Akbonlahor almost tried to do his job for him by playing the ball in front of him, and Young could have done it with a foot to feet, but it's a corner.
Well, Paulo Ferreira shepherding that out as if he thinks that's going to be a goal kick, but Joe Cole clearly went sliding in. Committed challenge from Joe Cole. You watch, he comes flying in here at pace. Well, Ferreira's decided that's a goal kick. He's got it wrong.
Ashley Young takes towards the head of Richard Dunn. Collins will contest this. Czech will punch. Good control from Deco. He's quickly surrounded though, and Dunn has won it from him, and Petrov has found Young. Angled in towards Carew, just try a little back flick. Ferreira defended it well. Chelsea play their way out of trouble and into trouble. Foul though by Collins on Mikel.
Yeah, he's just had a little nibble there, James Collins, through the back of Mikel's legs. I think it's a good decision, that one, from the referee. I think Chelsea just need to liven up a little bit. They're a little bit sluggish. They're taking 2 and 3 touches. Maybe the surface is a little catching them a little bit unawares, Clive, but I think he'll want his team to just be a bit sharper about their business.
His Chelsea career began here with a Community Shield success via a penalty shootout against Manchester United 8 months ago. Carlo Ancelotti will be hoping his first season will end here on May the 15th in the FA Cup final. I haven't seen Ancelotti quite so active on the touchline for a while. He feels as if his team have made a rather sluggish start, and Drogba is not moving very well at the moment. Good tackle by Zhirkov. Here's Mikel. Now Malouda. Lampard. Deco. Mikel. Malouda. Here is Zhirkov. Chelsea just trying to get some control over the game again. Ferreira being forced back by Young. Chelsea being kept at arm's length. Cole trying to change that. Mikel. Malouda. And in the end, after all that possession, Villa kept their shape and forced an error.
Yeah, it's a waste from Flora Malouda, because that was much better from Chelsea. Just hanging on to possession, just trying to gradually get each other going and bring each other into the game a little bit more. They have the extra man in the middle of the park with Deco, with Lampard, Mikel. That's where they've got to exercise their influence a little bit more. Won't be so easy for Joe Cole and Malouda to get the space. So in the middle of the park, they've got to try and boss it a wee bit more.
No sign of any inferiority complex from Martin O'Neill's team. Every sign that they've got what happened at Stamford Bridge 2 weeks ago out of their systems. Cuellar with a big challenge on Malouda. Drop up, Malouda couldn't quite gather it in his stride. A no-nonsense clearance, which is the trademark of Richard Dunn.
To be very accurate, that was bounced into Drogba, a bit of pace, and just the merest flick to Malouda.
This time Villa get the decision. Howard Webb had charge of the final here last May. Saw a Chelsea victory after Everton had shot them with a goal in 25 seconds. Lampard. Cut out by Downing.
They've done that very well in the opening stages. Stuart Downing, and on the other side Ashley Young. When fullbacks and wide players have been venturing forward, they've certainly done their bit to get back and protect that area in front of both fullbacks.
And the final word on that penalty appeal. If Chelsea win this, good luck to Gabriel Clark when he interviews Martin O'Neill. Rather you than me, mate. Good job by Carew. Alex losing out to Agbonlahor, and Ferreira losing out to Milner. John Terry with an important clearance, hit Alex and goes for a throw-in. Chelsea stretched here.
Yeah, they are at full stretch at the moment.
Petrov. Aston Villa becoming more and more assertive here, more and more assured. Petrov fouled by Deco, kicked away by Lampard. Deco is going to get a final warning from Howard Webb.
Petrov just evading the first challenge, and then of course they just toe poke it away just to prevent Villa from taking it smartly.
Dunn stayed back this time. Collins has gone forward. Cuellar's in there too, the right back. Is centre back by trade, really. Young with a free kick. Lampard's header, more up than out. Met it again, Frank Lampard. Falls for Malouda. One back by Petrov. Didier Drogba is the last man. Joe Cole's done well to rescue that for Deco. Ferreira just trying to up the tempo of the Chelsea display. Some of their passing's been a bit routine so far, nothing very penetrative or cutting about it. Warnock. Cuellar. Driven in low. Carew brings it under his spell, trying to nudge it back to Milner, but John Terry did exceptionally well. Mikel. Cole. Lampard. Zhirkov to Malouda. Lampard. Drogba. Chelsea playing in front of Aston Villa at the moment.
Yeah, it's too tight, it's too straight as well, that sort of ball into Drogba. Always gives defenders a chance.
Young to Agbonlahor. Ashley Young stretching his legs, the return pass wasn't quite good enough. Foul by Agbonlahor.
See, I think Gabby Agbonlahor there, Clive, can turn and run at him himself. Doesn't always have to just slot it out to Ashley Young and then look to get himself in the box. He's got that much pace. And that's just a bit of a clumsy foul. He's trying to win the ball back. Trying to see him when he gets on the half turn a bit more there. I wouldn't mind seeing him get at people, because when he puts his head down and goes, he's very, very difficult to stop. That's his strength.
Aston Villa's strength is counter-attacking, and Chelsea's attacks have been a little laboured so far. When Villa have broken them up, they've got forward quickly and in numbers. They do have pace in their team. Mikel. Drogba. Little back heel is clever for Lampard. Didier Drogba, charged down by Collins. Survives the handball appeal. Drogba again. Header away by James Milner, pushing the back by Frank Lampard. Hardly seen Drogba.
No, not at all. Not seen an awful lot of him. The quality of the service to him has been very average up to now. He's really had nothing to feed off at all. And every time those little straight balls are coming in, look, he's found himself in a wide area. He'd like to be on the end of crosses like this. I think if Villa can keep him in those sort of areas, they'll nullify a lot of his threat.
He has played here 5 times for Chelsea, and he's found the back of the net every time. 4 in general play, and then in the Community Shield in August, one of the successful spot kicks in the shootout. So he has a wonderful record at Wembley, Didier Drogba. No wonder he's been selected ahead of Nicola Anelka today. Anelka is on the bench. Drogba's in the wars again at the moment. Cole. Deco. Mikel. Poor pass from Shirkov, and again Aston Villa just keeping their discipline and almost waiting for Chelsea to make an error.
Yeah, they are. And once again, Chelsea handing possession back to the Villa. Sloppy, careless passing. They've got some way to go yet to get themselves back to the level they did when they pumped 7 past them a couple of weeks ago.
It is worth remembering, though, that game was 1-1 approaching half-time. Chelsea scored 3 times in 10 minutes midway through the second half to race away. Malouda. Well won by the Aston Villa skipper, Stilian Petrov. Now Ashley Young trying his luck down the right-hand side. Here's Gabi Akbonlahor again. Plenty happening to his left. Milner. Downing, who has Warnock for company out there. Stuart Downing crosses. Keeper's lost it, and Carew just lost sight of it, I think. Completely blinded by the jump in front of him. Ashley Young, though, and John Terry got it away. Great chance. Great chance,
great play again. I just wonder if it was a tiny little nick off John Terry that maybe just took it off of John Carew. Warnock on the overlap allows Stuart Downing to just drift this way.
There was no nick from the goalkeeper. Akbonlahor with a touch on him. Ferreira very coolly chests it back to Petr Cech. And right now you have to say Villa are unlucky not to be in front. Unlucky not perhaps to have been awarded a penalty, and unlucky not to have seen their general pressure pay. Cole. Just trying to slide Ferreira in. There's nowhere near him.
Just trying to play that with the outside of his boot.
Akbonlahor peels and runs, and he'll run away from Alex. Support is arriving. Akbonlahor losing his footing. Cole keeping it in.
That's exactly the right tactic for Villa. They're defending on the edge of their own 18-yard box. They spring it. And all of a sudden, Akbonlahor, when he spins, that's how he's going to be a real threat to Alex and Terry today.
He went into the right area too, because Paulo Ferreira was way out of position. Let's look at the way that Villa passing the ball here. From time to time, you know, they have been labelled a long ball direct team. They can mix it up, but they can play like this too.
Petrov and Milner have been excellent so far at the start of the game in there. They've really dictated the Chelsea midfield 3.
Long ball was too straight from Collins, but there is such speed available in the front line. It's no wonder that they try to hit their men directly.
Yeah, there's Stewart down, and of course they swap wings. They've just switched, and that's a great ball. It's just the tiniest of nicks, I think, from John Terry there. That look, just flicks it off of John Terry's, off of Caru's head.
Those slow motion replays can be so cruel. It looked almost as if Carew had ducked under it, but he was just trying to adjust to that touch that had happened instinctively in front of him. Missed it completely. It's a good header from Drogba. Malouda's done well to gather it. His cross is good, and here's Drogba. Fantastic challenge coming in. Might fall for Deco, but Stephen Warnock saved the day there for Aston Villa. First real chance for Chelsea. Flags up against that Bonlo. Oh, in the end didn't chase it. Downing would have kept it in from an onside position.
Great challenge from Stephen Warnock, it really was. Florent Malouda does well, he shows a lot of strength with Cuellar here. Resists that, tucks it back. It looks for all that Drogba's going to bash that in the net. Great sprawling challenge from Warnock. Look, he throws himself at it. And that was crucial. Drogba never really caught it, Clive. It wasn't the greatest of finishes from him, I've got to say.
But what will that do to the Chelsea performance? They needed a moment. Jerkoff, charged down by Cuellar this time. Young away. At Bonlahor, good control. Clearly fouled by John Obi Mikel.
How's that one a foul, and the one in the box isn't?
Took the words out of my mouth. Easier to give there.
I don't think that one is a foul.
It's wayward from Lampard. Deco just managed to lay claim to it. Drogba. He's done really well there to take the ring road round Collins. Couldn't quite play Lampard in. It'll go for a corner unless Warner can catch it. He can. Downing away.
Just wondered, I mean, Lampard applauds Drogba's the thought process there. I just wonder, after just rounding Collins, whether or not he may have thought about having a shot himself. It's a great little flick. He's looking for his midfield running teammate. I just wonder if he could have had a go himself.
Drogba here is coming into the game. Fouled by Dunn this time. Big afternoon for him, having been left out for the last two matches. It would appear now as if Carlo Ancelotti has decided it's Anelka or Drogba, not both.
I never ever feel that Anelka seems to really relish the thought of playing in the wider areas. I always feel Chelsea are at their very best when Drogba's flying down the middle.
One of the stranger aspects of their relative claims is that Didier Drogba has scored a dozen goals for Chelsea since Nicola Anelka last scored for them. Anelka hasn't scored since January. Now Alex can blast them, but Drogba's eyeing this. Remember him scoring a goal from a similar position against Tottenham down at this end in the Carling Cup final the season before last. It's Drogba, the wall did its job, but it'll come from Mikel. Jerkoff. Drogba still there, away by Dunn. Terry, this is better from Chelsea. Mikel. Floated towards the head of Drogba, a bit of a mismatch with Warner. Comes with Joe Cole, and Friedel has to make a save.
It's unlucky from Joe Cole, it's a good hit. I think it may have gone through a pair of legs, I'm not sure. It was Stephen Warnock who I think inadvertently sort of knocks it back in Joe Cole's path there. Thinking whether or not he's going to take a touch. It's a good hit, it just goes through Dunn's legs. Good stop.
Drogba will be happy to get matched up with Warnock when the ball's coming in the air if he can.
Certainly a better last 5-10 minutes for Chelsea. Got himself in better areas, wide. Malouda's getting involved in the game a wee bit more.
Warnock quick to intercept, got in front of Joe Cole. He had his England call up for the last international against Egypt here, but he sat and watched that game on the bench. He's only ever played 7 or 8 minutes of international football, Stephen Warnock. And Ashley Cole is due back for Chelsea in 2 weeks' time. Milner. Cross charged down by Alex, who stood his ground well.
That's good defending from Alex, that really is. But James Milner there had an opportunity to put it in there. The minute you come back on your right foot and take your time, the blue shirts are flooding back, and now they're on the counter.
Milner's still down, having been shrugged off by Deco. Malouda. Seen off by Cuellar. Milner's okay now. Bonlahor seems to be struggling a little bit in the middle of the field. Deco. Cole. Chelsea have worked it well here for John Obi Mikel. Florent Malouda. Lampard. Clipped in towards Didier Drogba, headed away by Dunn, hit by Malouda, but under severe pressure from James Collins, skies it.
Good challenge from Collins, come flying out the minute that he could see Malouda coming onto that. Patient play from Chelsea. Not an easy ball for Drogba to deal with, and Malouda's under severe pressure, as you say. John Carews the man that's being asked to drop back in and make up that extra man in the middle of the park. Of course, Aston Villa are going to have to take a breather from time to time, and he's got to do that as often as he can. He's better at that, I think, than Bonlahor.
First semi-final of the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON, live from Wembley here on ITV1 this evening. And an absorbing first half. The big moment, an Aston Villa penalty appeal turned down, strong penalty appeal. See that again at half-time with Gareth Southgate and Marcel Desailly. Zhirkov stumbling past the challenge of Cuellar and not getting the free kick that he'd hoped
for. First time we've really seen Yuri Zhirkov and Cuellar that high up the park. I thought for a minute Zhirkov had just done enough. Maybe it was a foul there. Doesn't really appeal strongly. But he's got to try and do that more often. He's got to run downing back towards Cuellar a bit more. Maybe give Malouda a little bit of space as well if he goes on the overlap, a little bit like Warnock has done with Ashley Young and Downing on the other side.
Downing with a chance to run the Zhirkov here. Aston Villa throwing. Yuri Zhirkov had played here once before for Russia against England. You may recall it, 2.5 years ago, England 3, Russia 0. Cuellar with a long throw. Led away by Mikel as far as Milner. Drogba's back there. Joe Cole, little isolated, well challenged by Stephen Warnock. And Aston Villa get the throw in. Petrov took on a bit too much there, but he's got a free kick. He was impeded by Deco.
I think it's fortunate there, still in Petrov, because it just ran away from him, and then Deco put himself between the Villa player and the ball. He was just trying to look. I think it's just run away from Petrov here. 6 a dozen or 1, I know, but he was a little bit lucky to get that one. Chance again for Collins to push forward and supplement that forward line.
James Collins got the winner against Chelsea at Villa Park in October. Warnock's free kick towards Collins. Cleared by John Obi Mikel. Dunn, though, has found Downing. Carew, I should say, with a header on towards Milner. Hooked away by Zhirkov. Downing, so well to control that. And fine across, Carew with a header. Well defended by John Terry, immediately behind him.
Yeah, got himself in a good position again, the Chelsea skipper, to deal with that. His head on one or two very important fast deliveries that have been flashing across that 6-yard box in this opening half.
So he's giving away a couple of inches to Carew. It was a foul throw that though by Cuellar. Villa and Chelsea met in the last final at the original Wembley Stadium 10 years ago. Remember it? No, neither can I, and I was commentating. It wasn't one of the great finals. Roberto Di Matteo scored the only goal, not the early one. This was 20 minutes from the end. And Villa's semi-final with Bolton here that year didn't even have a goal. David James was the hero of the shootout that decided it and brought Aston Villa back to face Chelsea in the final. After all that, Villa and Cuellar get another chance at the original throw. Goes back to Collins. Just going to be the one added minute. Header away by Alex. Milner, nice idea, but Ferreira read it. Carew, he's strong there, being wrestled by Alex. Ashley Young, maybe the last attack of this first half. Seen off by Ferreira. Warner. Deco though. Now Cole. Lampard. Good advantage played. Mikel. Villa on points for you, Andy?
Yeah, Villa on points, certainly. They may not have worked check as much as they would have liked, but Chelsea with gears to find for sure.
Well, it's goalless, but there's the central figure. Certainly, I'm sure, in the mind of Martin O'Neill. Gabiak Bonlahor having a huge penalty appeal turned down by Howard Webb at a time when Villa were very much on the up. Chelsea have steadied since then, but at half-time it remains Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0.
And Villa determined to erase the memory of the 7 goals they shipped at Stamford Bridge, and that first half will certainly have healed a few wounds. Big moment of penalty controversy, though. Gareth Southgate and Marcel Desailly will give their thoughts on that after the break.
Well, as Jose Mourinho told us, Chelsea have won just one FA Cup since he left. 4 managers, 1 trophy. Won by Gus Hiddink here in the final last season. Mourinho won 2 titles, an FA Cup and 2 League Cups in 3 seasons, and in a curious sort of way it has rather looked as if he might have handed Chelsea 2 more trophies by knocking them out of the Champions League. They are now favourites for both this competition and indeed the Premier League title, but they've got some work to do here, and immediately a free kick.
A slightly unnecessary situation to give away, Clive, so soon, so early in the half. Perfect opportunity to flash another dangerous cross into that 6-yard box.
Collins and Dunn are in there. Downing takes. Defended by Ferreira. Corner kick.
Just a little bit too flat, the delivery. Collins just feeling his shoulder a little bit there. Flying in. It's a good header from Paulo Ferreira in the end. He's just standing though. He knows the Villa players are going to come running across the front of him, and he deals with it very well.
And towards Carew this time! And that just loops and falls wide of Petacek's right hand upright. It's a frustrating afternoon for Martin O'Neill so far.
That is a better delivery, and John Carew there and John Terry slugging it out in that near post area. It's the Villa player that comes off slightly better, and he just doesn't quite get enough on it. So I think the goalkeeper's beaten. He knows it.
Aston Villa's last major trophy was the League Cup, won here in 1996. They haven't been a top 4 side since 96, 6th in each of the last 2 seasons. I think Martin O'Neill himself has said that in the 4th year of his partnership with Randy Lerner, It's almost time for some tangible return on that £80 million or so that the American has invested in the club. Alex. Drogba, allowed to turn, trying to thread it through to Joe Cole, whose movement's been good. He's the one who's been wandering, he's been the one who's been difficult to pick up, Cole. Lampard to Malouda. Has defended that flank well.
Don't really think Deco has done enough in the first 45 minutes. He's not really got himself in the areas to influence the game enough.
But Chelsea have a corner. Usual return ticket from the back for John Terry, who has scored a winning goal in an FA Cup semi-final. He won't connect with that one though. Collins away as far as Ferreira. Lampard's offside.
It's a great spot from Paulo Ferreira. Frank Lampard just coming out from the corner, clearly offside. Take any two from all of them there, but certainly from a Villa perspective, they've now got to try and convert the good pressure they've had, the good tempo, the good intensity they've had in their game. They've got to convert that into more chances, make Czech work more. Because you do feel, Clive, that Chelsea inevitably, surely, they'll get stronger. They have to. They have to get better than what they showed in the first 45 minutes because they weren't at it.
You may recall those comments that John Terry made after the game a fortnight ago, in which he said that they had expected Aston Villa to tire in the last half hour of the game. I think that is a great motivator for Villa to keep going here this evening. Have to keep going beyond the 90-minute mark if it stays like this. We get a verdict one way or another tonight. Zhirkov on towards Drogba. Collins comes across and Drogba's won a corner kick. Both teams now attacking the ends of this stadium, behind which the most vocal supporters are gathered.
Better delivery for Drogba as well. Too many times in the first half they were knocking things into his chest and up in and around his throat. Can't do enough with it. Something to run in the gullies is much better for him as well.
Malouda. Terry's there, so too is done. Hit by Deco and hit wildly wide. The Portuguese international.
Yeah, well, he'll be enthused by the start his team have had. Certainly they've been better. All the big guns flying in, it comes out to Deco. It's a hard one, you've got to catch it absolutely perfectly to really fizz that goal. It just comes off it and slashes it well wide. Good, hits it hard enough, but I think he needs to have more effect in and around the ticking over of the game, Clive, for his side. Needs to be on the ball more, Deco.
Peru holding off Mikel and winning a free kick eventually. Young. Delayed by Zhirkov and then dispossessed. Peru. He is quite literally a handful for Chelsea central defenders.
Very big and powerful man. Given decent service, it's tough even for strong defenders like Terry and Alex to try and get round him and get a head on it first.
Petrov, well, he's clipped by Deco, has had a couple of warnings, and on a toughening up process, Deco has shown the first yellow card of the semi-final.
I think that's about right as well. He's just had a definite nibble out in there. He knows that Petrov is away.
James Collins making a belated run forward. Warnock takes. Easy for Mikel. Petrov. Milner. Collins just hanging around to see how the attack develops. Ashley Young. James Milner. Young has managed to jink away from Lampard and win another throw-in.
Have got big men in the box there, Villa waiting, Collins, Carew. Don't disappoint them too much, all well and good. Milner and Young trying to fashion a yard to deliver it. Just get it in there, give them something to attack.
Cuellar takes. Over the head of Collins, Carew trying to make something of it. Terry sees to it that he can't. Collins has won the ball back, but at the expense of a Chelsea throw-in. Drogba with a little flick on. And Nicola Anelka is warming up at the moment. I wonder whether a time will come when Carlo Ancelotti feels it necessary to pair him with Drogba.
It was a big call before the game, Clive, wasn't it? So he'll be giving it plenty of thought right now, for sure.
Cole. Malouda. Here's Drogba. Squeezing a good cross too. And Joe Cole almost caught up with it in the same little area that he scored at Old Trafford last weekend.
It's a great ball from Drogba. That really is a brilliant, brilliant ball, and Joe Cole does well to try and make up the ground. Good gather from Brad Friedel, but it's much better from Drogba, that is.
The exact tactical shape of the Chelsea team has been a work in progress this season. All those numbers we keep throwing at you, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, they've had a go at just about every combination.
I always think they're at their best when they go 4-3-3, Drogba down the middle. Got a number of permutations in the wider areas, but Lampard's bombing up to join in with him, but we haven't quite seen that enough of that today from the Chelsea perspective. It's always there and it's always a threat.
Carew. Lampard though, gets it back from Drogba. Here's Lampard, Joe Cole. Couldn't quite gather it in. Cuellar, good cover from fullback. I think Drogba's really grown into this game.
Yeah, better, much, much better.
Cole. Ferreira. Deco. Joe Cole. Spooned up towards the head of Drogba, but spooned too high.
Yeah. They're playing at a much better tempo, Chelsea, now. They're getting their key players on the ball in better areas, which enables Drogba to get into those dangerous areas. When he runs the gullies, he's very powerful. It's a little 1-2 with Lampard, then just a little bit narrow the run. It's very difficult to find Joe Cole there and slot him in, but it's better. It's much, much better.
Aston Villa supporters getting behind their team. Coventry City were the last Midlands team to win the FA Cup back in 1987. Only Forest and Villa have actually made it to the final since then. May well have 4 West Midlands clubs in the Premier League next season for the first time since the early 80s, with West Bromwich Albion's promotion today. Tomorrow's FA Cup semi-finalist Portsmouth officially relegated today. Good no-nonsense performance from the Spaniard Carlos Cuellar at right back today. Ferreira. Cole. Deco's pass intercepted by Young.
Well, Villa just got to regroup, and of course he left you feeling at half-time a little bit. Have Villa had their best spell in the game and haven't capitalised on it? Weren't able to to pinch a goal in that first 45 minutes when clearly they were the better team. Now they've got to regroup, they've got to show something else and come back again. Chelsea getting stronger in the game for sure. Yes, they've got to defend and get behind the ball and work out Chelsea, but still mustn't forget, they're at their best in the first 45 minutes when Warnock was on the overlap, when Quayle was getting forward, and they got people supplementing Carew and Agbonlahor.
Don't necessarily need to monopolise possession, Aston Villa, to be an effective force in the game. They are, as we said already, a good, speedy counter-attacking team. But Chelsea have certainly improved from a rather sedate opening. Milner. Warnock. Running back to Petrov. Well, Warnock was aware that Downing had space, probably more aware than Downing was. Drogba, Mikel, Zhirkov. Again an error. Ball won by Agbonlahor, and here goes Carew. There's a little bit of nonsense there between Agbonlahor and Malouda.
I think Malouda's annoyed at the previous challenge, Clive. He's upset with the referee that he never blew and give him a free kick that he felt he deserved a little bit before that. He just sort of turned away, and Agbonlahor's got his arms up.
Gabriel Agbonlahor has got to be careful taking the law into his own hands like that, quite literally. Malouda was penalised, and it is a Villa free kick. Downing, Milner. Alex has defended that situation well again. Milner taking a quick throw-in off the big defender, headed away by Zhirkov as far as Young. Quayle, Petrov, well worked. Ashley Young, not such a good cross.
Good play from James Milner previously as well. Quick thinking, he works himself into the ground, this boy. Alex did ever so well to defend it. He didn't see that one.
Just stand there a minute. Good header by Terry. Out as far as Stilian Petrov. Deco with a clean challenge. Malouda has hurdled. Not such a clean challenge from Collins, but Warnock managed to catch up again. In goes Lampard hard. Howard Webb giving it every chance at the moment.
And Collins flying in for that. No contact with Malouda, thankfully. Tough one to call at the moment, Clive. Very, very tight.
Malouda. Lampard. Terry. Lifted into Zhirkov. Quayle did enough again. Agbonlahor trying to run Mikel. He's done just that. It's got beyond John Obi Mikel. Throw in.
That's good work from Gabi Agbonlahor.
Young. Got away from Mikel. Ashley Young, not quite sure what he had in mind there, but Petacek defended the near post.
Yeah,
Carew was loitering behind him.
He was. John Carew standing towards the back post, you'll see him. I just wonder if somebody else could maybe have done a bit more for Ashley Young when he gets there. There's not a tremendous amount of movement. Maybe he could have just clipped it, stood it up a little bit over the top of the goalkeeper.
Downing's corner. Checks catch.
Great hands from the goalkeeper, that is.
First time he's played in the FA Cup since the final last year. Hilario has been the cup tie keeper for Chelsea this season. victim of this greasy top surface. Substitutions could be key here. Looks like Salomon Kalou is going to be the first we're going to see. Agbonlahor seeking out Young, but Terry is there. Zhirkov, Malouda, Lampard. Lampard lifted in towards Drogba, just couldn't quite control it under pressure from Dunn.
Yeah, he knows that's half a chance there. It's a decent ball into him, a good touch. He's on the left side, ready to hit it and test Brad Friedel, who just fails to deal with the ball through.
Deco. Warnock, though, all given straight to Drogba by Milner and given straight to Milner by Drogba. He's carrying a hernia problem, Didier Drogba. We understand he'll need a minor operation before joining Ivory Coast for the World Cup finals. Must be a little uncomfortable. Young. Downing. Blocked by Lampard. Corner kick. And a lot of space to shoot there, Stuart Downing.
The game has become a little bit more stretched over the last 5 minutes or so, and it suited Villa. Twice we've seen Ashley Young getting in dangerous areas, as well as Agbonlahor.
Young's corner. Collins with a header. Couldn't control it under pressure from Alex.
Looks like Kalou's about to come on, Clive.
Substitution for Chelsea.
Well, it's the end of Joe Cole's afternoon, and you can hear what the Chelsea fans think of that.
I just wonder whether Joe Cole could have dropped back in alongside the midfield central pair of Mikel and Lampard, withdrawn Deco maybe. Joe will be very, very disappointed with that.
He was subbed at half-time in the final here by Jose Mourinho in 2007, but one less player for Fabio Capello to make any more notes on. I would think Cole's caught his eye today.
Oh, he's worked very well. I thought he, again, in the start of the second half in particular, I thought he was quite influential for Chelsea. I just think with Deco, unless his team are bossing it, I'm not so sure what you're getting out of him.
Except perhaps the danger of another yellow card. Warnock forward. Terry's header was against Carew. This is Downing between the legs of Lampard. Now Milner. Young. Players in support. Ashley Young rolled in low. Away by Alex. Hasn't quite been the end product as yet from Young. Collins. Tossed in towards Carew, out jumping Ferreira. Lampard. Mikel. Options right and left here. Didier Drogba onside. Oh, Collins has gone down. Drogba, good recovery by Dunn and scooped away by Warnock. Almost a costly slip by James Collins. Almost another Wembley goal for Didier Drogba.
We wondered if he was offside when he was first slipped in. He does great to dip inside Collins. Brilliant tackle from Richard Dunn, and Warnock following up as well. Once Collins commits to the ground, you think Drogba's got to get the shot in. Brilliant, brilliant defending.
Malouda. Easy enough for Dunn. Oh, straight to John Terry. Drogba! Didier Drogba scored the winning goal for Chelsea here in last season's FA Cup semi-final. He breaks the deadlock. This year, will it be enough? Drogba again at Wembley. Chelsea lead.
We see Drogba score. So many great goals, Clive. We don't see him score too many tap-ins like that. But how important is it going to be? Richard Dunn has just done fantastically well with that bit of defending. That, by his standards, is a poor header. It's come flying back in from John Terry. I think there's a shot, obviously, there going in, but Drogba's just turned it round the corner and Friedel's got no chance.
Terry's shot's going wide. But Didier Drogba is there to keep up this remarkable record at the new Wembley. 5 Chelsea goals here now in 6 appearances. It's the 3rd time he scored in an FA Cup semi-final for the club. Number 32 of the season, arguably the most important yet. Downing. Here's Petrov. Well, we've seen Aston Villa on the verge in this run. They did come from behind to beat Chelsea in October. They trailed Crystal Palace and Reading in the last 2 rounds. They were 2 down at half-time at Reading in the quarter-finals. And they've got to stage another comeback. Cuellar towards the head of Carew, and Alex did enough.
Well, now Villa have got to show tons of character. He'll be thinking about changes. He doesn't always make them pretty quickly. But nonetheless, Drogba, big question mark about the game with regards to Anelka. It's a poor header from Richard Dunn because he's unopposed, Clive. There's no challenge on Dunn. He's got to go height and distance there. And it's turned back in from Terry, and Drogba, he knocks him in from the edge of the box. He's not going to miss from 2 yards.
It was a strange corner, wasn't it? A poor corner, really, because there were 3 Villa defenders there. Any of them could have cleared it. There wasn't a Chelsea player inside. John Terry hits a shot, falls to the feet of Didier Drogba. Lampard. Carew penalised. Well, they almost have a season ticket for this place now, the Chelsea fans. Last 3 times they've been here, they've left victorious. They've had the disappointments. Losing a cup final to Tottenham, that is a disappointment for a Chelsea fan, but maybe there's another one on the horizon, who knows? Next 10 minutes critical now for Aston Villa, just to clear their heads and raise their spirits. Akbonlahor just trying to tuck it in. John Carew. Alex has had a good game for Chelsea. Drogba's won that cleanly. Malouda. Lampard. Trying his luck from long range. Won't beat Brad Friedel from there.
Yeah, never really caught that one, Frank Lampard.
Well, Villa have still got 20 minutes.
They still have. They've got enough time, Clive. Of course they have. But now you wonder about the psychological factor about going behind to Chelsea once more. They've done terrific in the game up to now, without maybe working the goalkeeper enough. Their all-round game from box to box has been good. And now they've got to really summon up real reserves of energy now, because Chelsea are goal to the good with players that, like Mikel now and Deco perhaps, now his team are in front, can have more of an effect on the game. It's going to be very difficult on a big, big pitch.
Deco. Carew. Malouda. Lampard. Here's Carew. Zhirkov. Patiently done. Zhirkov. Malouda's onside here. Florent Malouda can't dig out a cross of any description.
I think he was looking, Malouda, there. He was waiting for somebody to move and perhaps offer him an option. It was just a little bit slow, but again, better from Chelsea, starting to just boss it in and around Villa's last third now. Malouda looking and waiting, and in the end just runs out of room and stabs it out.
But Aston Villa trail to a goal by a man who didn't even face them at Stamford Bridge 2 weeks ago. Didier Drogba played no part in that game, but 7 goals in the last 6 matches he has played for Chelsea. And they've left him out of the last 2 games. Petrov. Done to Downing. It's a vote of confidence for the way Villa have played generally that Martin O'Neill hasn't immediately gone for a change. Alex's challenge on Carew is fair. Drogba, Malouda. It's a corner.
Same type of corner again, Clive. Out-swinging delivery. Villa defenders zone in that area, just in front of the 6-yard box.
Towards Lampard this time, it'll actually come all the way for Ferreira. Another mishit shot, and it fell for Lampard. It was nearly the same script. Malouda. Hit with his right foot, blocked by Young. Terry came sliding in. Advantage played. Now there's a free kick. I think John Terry might be in trouble for that challenge. Yellow card.
Is that for the first one? Because I tell you, Deco's lucky as well.
Yeah, I mean, Deco's already on a card, but I think Howard Webb had it in his mind that he was going to book Terry, even though he played an advantage for this foul on James Milner.
I mean, it's full-blooded from John Terry. You can he actually does take a slice of the ball to start with, John Terry. The follow-through is what catches Milner.
That's a hefty challenge. That studs onto the shin of James Milner. Never mind the ball. That was excessive force from John Terry. I don't know what Fabio Capello will make of that. One England player on another.
When the ball's bouncing like that, though, Clive, you are going to go in with studs up. That's a fact of life as a footballer. The ball's pop up in the air, you are going to go flying in, particularly when you're lunging. Your studs have to be facing upwards.
Well, the referee's got to ask himself, was a tackle careless, reckless, or use of excessive force? Careless, free kick; reckless, yellow card; excessive force, red card. Doesn't matter whether you get the ball or not. If it fits any of those descriptions, yellow card. Milner is okay, mercifully. Warnock with the free kick. Away by Drogba. Drogba's one of the best defensive centre-forwards I've ever seen. When he comes back and does his stint,
yeah,
he really does well.
It's not just a token gesture, is it, getting back? He has an effect for his team.
Done. Trying to peel away from Drogba, testing that theory out again. And this time the makeshift Chelsea defender gets him a challenge which concedes a throw in.
Substitution for Chelsea.
Deco's race is run. It'll be Michael Ballack who takes his place. First German to pick up an FA Cup winners' medal here at Wembley since Bert Troutman, and he came on as a substitute last year. Ballack. He's been a substitute in the main just of late, certainly since the exit in Milan. Or to Milan. Downing. Stuck out across towards Ashley Young. Well, he got up above Shirkoff.
Another good ball in from Stuart Downing. That really is a teaser. Someone wants to get on the end of it. Ashley Young puts his head on it, but then you need Agbonlahor lively to the second ball. The pieces that are dropping around. Ballack will be important now, Clive, as well, defensively. Of course, his experience in keeping the ball and running the clock down, etc. But also with those big, powerful Villa defenders that are coming forward, perhaps in the latter stages, his experience and his know-how in defending is certainly needed as well. Collins. Carew with the header on.
Agbonlahor out, jumped by Terry. Lampard. Malouda, and almost ran for Kalou. Quaya's clearance may well run for Ballack. Quaya has to concede the corner.
It's a great ball in from Michael Ballack, that is. Brilliant ball. I think the initial ball from Frank Lampard is actually for Kalou, and Malouda just maybe slowed it up, but it's a fantastic ball in again. If only anybody's diving in on that area. That's a great ball. Collins knows he can't get it. Quaya has to just shepherd it out.
Little to choose between the teams, apart from Drogba's goal. Malouda takes. Kalou tried to flick it on. Terry tried to shield it. He's found only Milner, and he was body checked by Mikel.
Now, Clive, Villa changes. At what point does Mark O'Neill decide that I need some more legs? I just need to change it, liven it up a little bit.
Not sure that Emil Heskey is really an impact forward. His goal-scoring record is notoriously poor, but he does have the teenager Nathan Delfonso, of whom Aston Villa thinks so highly. He might be a more likely entrant. They're the two candidates. Young. Czech holds it easily enough. The cross was always curling towards him.
How about that for a kick?
Thanks. After all that, Kalou watches and watches it and then lets it roll out. Downing. Agbonlahor couldn't quite protect the ball. Drogba helping out again inside his own half and winning a free kick.
He's grown into the game, Drogba, and he's become more significant, more important to his team.
He's about to be replaced as it happens. But no reflection on his contribution to Chelsea's lead, not least goal number 32 of the season. Drogba, hardly a brotherly hug, was it, from his teammate and maybe rival Nicola Anelka, who comes on in his stead. Handshake from Ray Wilkins. He scored a Wembley goal here in 1983. Doesn't look a great deal different actually from when he curled that left footer in against Brighton. He ran faster than he's ever run in his career in celebration. Headed down by Dunn. Carew. Young. Volleyed away by Lampard. Got to make those crosses tell now, Aston Villa. Can't afford to allow Chelsea unopposed clearances of that kind. Here's Quaya. That'll come for Carew. Trying to peel away from Alex. Ferreira. Only as far as Petrov. It's been won by Ballack though. Now Kalou. Anelka. Kalou wides the challenge from Milner. Finds Frank Lampard. Florent Malouda. Salomon Kalou. Well, they only needed a touch from Lampard and it nearly got it. In fact, he got a touch off an Aston Villa player because it's a corner.
Yeah, little nick, I think, off of a defender throwing themselves at it. Richard Dunn actually just put his forehead on that just to make sure. Not sure whether that is ever going to come back enough from Kalou, but nonetheless, you just deal with it first. There's the change for Villa.
Well, it is Emil Heskey who replaces John Carew. 5 goals in 36 appearances for Aston Villa this season. Lampard. It's glanced away by Collins. Milner thumps it downfield, but there's nobody, not in claret and blue down there anyway. Arsenal were the last team to win the Cup in successive years, beat Chelsea and then Southampton 2002, 2003. Spurs the last at Wembley in the early 80s. Chelsea on course for a third final in 4 years. Lampard. Malouda's got clear of Collins here. Enough pressure though on Florian Malouda.
Just enough. Great spot from Frank Lampard. A brilliant run again from Malouda. He was right up there, I think, as well as Drogba, the influence he's had in the game. I think Malouda's been excellent once more.
Those fresh Chelsea legs of the substitutes trying to prevent Aston Villa from playing their way forward. Might have to go longer and longer, earlier and earlier. That was late by Mikel on Milner. And there's a card coming out here for John Obi Mikel.
Second balls from these situations, Clive. Looks like Milner's going to heave this 40-odd yards into the box. It's where it drops. Who's live to it?
Headed on by Collins. It's Akbonlahor who's there. John Terry shuts the door in his face. He's had a resolute afternoon, the Chelsea skipper. Turned in by Downing, turned away by Mikel. Quay has to go all the way back to Warnock, who's being pursued by Kalou. And he has to go all the way back to Friedel. And he slices his clearance, so he might just find Ashley Young. Young driven up towards Emil Heskey, jumping with Terry. Away by Zhirkov. Collins is still up there. Ferreira foul by Young.
Yeah. Good goal there, Paulo Ferreira drew the foul, saw Ashley Young coming.
Well, in the middle of the first half, Howard Webb had a big call to make when Gabi Akbonlahor went down under that challenge from Mikel. Villa unlucky there, and unlucky again when John Terry's mishit shot fell for Didier Drogba to score the only goal of the game. And really, that's been the difference, just 2 moments.
Yeah.
Heskey with the header down. Away by Alex. I think he's going to have to reflect, even in defeat, that it was a game his team might just as easily have won. And it's not over until it's over. Remember, Emil Heskey scoring a goal right at the death in a League Cup final for Martin O'Neill's Leicester City to take it to a replay. Warnock takes in towards Heskey. That's both he and Akbonlahor went for the same ball. Quay's tackle on Malouda, and Akbonlahor is up and about. Well, 3 weekends ago, Chelsea took their Champions League hangover to Blackburn, blew an early lead, slipped into 3rd place in the title race, raised more question than there seemed to be answers at the time, but what a difference 2 Saturdays can make. First Old Trafford, the equivalent of a title semi-final, and now Wembley in an FA Cup semi-final, and a lot of those questions have been answered. So close again. Ballack lifted into the path of Malouda. Little back heel, which Anelka couldn't gather in, but it'll fall for Zhirkov, and that'll go for a goal kick.
Another cross-cam shot there from Zhirkov this time. Howard Webb gives a goal kick. It's just whether or not Villa can summon the energy now, Clive, to just perhaps deliver something to test Cech and Alex and Terry. I think the 2 Chelsea centre-halves have been very good today.
The boys in the studio have selected their Eon man of the match, and Didier Drogba, the sole goal scorer. is that man. Sole goal scorer so far. 67th minute. He found the back of Brad Friedel's net. Aston Villa haven't really managed to summon a great opportunity to equalise as yet.
That's the difference, really, when you look at the sides, Clive.
Here's Anelka. Quayer heads back to his keeper.
When you look at the two teams, they have Drogba, they have a centre-forward, always looks like he's going to score goals for Villa. They've got so much genuine effort and energy in the middle of the park and in the wide areas, but down the middle, Gabby Agbonlah's a young, bright talent, I know. They just don't look like they've ever got enough to get through a game like this.
And Chelsea can break, and Lampard finds Ballack. Quayer didn't defend it, and Malouda strikes it into the back of the net, and Chelsea are heading back to the FA Cup final. Calmly, sweetly taken by Florent Malouda. Less than 2 minutes remaining, and Chelsea have clear daylight and a passport and ticket to come back here next month.
And once again, Malouda shows just how important part of this Chelsea team he is. As he has kept going and going in this second half. He's been dangerous. Ballack, he produced one cross after he came on, which was dangerous. This is even better. As you say, Quayer's not aware of Malouda. He doesn't really know where he is. I'll tell you where he is. He's right behind you, and he's about to slam it in the back of the net. Brilliant finish. Controlled finish.
Last year, it was Gus Hiddink. Last year, it was Arsenal. Same goal scorers, Drogba and Malouda. Same outcome. Chelsea will win the semi-final. Here's Collins. Going to be 4 added minutes. And Villa do recover. We'll never forget these next 4 minutes, but it's a big, big ask now.
Good goal, Clive. Great finish from him. It's a lovely teasing ball in from Ballack. Quayer could deal with it. He's just not aware. He's steaming in like a train behind him. He's controlled it as well. You know, it's come off a fast surface. He's got the big side foot on it. Just whipped past Friedel before he can even react.
Chelsea's 4th FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. They won the previous 3. Gavin Peacock's goals against Luton in 1994, Gus Poyet's goals against Newcastle in 2000, and the last 2 same goal scorers, Drogba and Malouda. For Aston Villa, this stadium holds nothing but disappointments at the moment. 2 contentious decisions, one at the start of the Carling Cup final, which they will remain convinced robbed them of a chance to go on and play a 10-man Manchester United for 85 minutes, and another midway through the first half of this game, which he will be convinced robbed his team of a chance to take a lead. Ballack slipped in towards Anelka. A third would be really cruel. Downing. Milner. Here's Heskey. Petrov. Milner rolled into the path of Stuart Downing. And it's a goal kick. Poor cross. Well, teams have lost League Cup finals at Wembley and come back and won the FA Cup. It has happened, but it's so difficult when you feel such a deep disappointment to get it out of your systems, and I think the first goal was always going to be crucial this evening.
Today, that's why that big decision. I'm sure Martin's going to have plenty to say about that.
Here's Kalou. Good save by Friedel. Another chance for Malouda! Should have buried it.
That one he's had to just watch and wait for it, and you'd have expected him to score, the form he's been in lately. Good stop initially from Brad Friedel. Decent strike from Solomon Kalou. Actually, Malouda had time to actually set that, weigh it up, maybe take another touch.
I mean, Villa were very purposeful in the first half, but you couldn't help but feel that their confidence had to be brittle, and that if they fell behind in the game, it really would test their resources to recover.
And during the good spell they had, Clive, they needed to score first. I think everyone felt that here today.
Kalou, he's got past two, his shot is blocked, it'll come for Nicola Anelka. And again, Villa get enough bodies back there, and it's all a bit desperate. And it's all a bit demoralised. Well, let's not forget how low Chelsea were 3.5 weeks ago. Let's not forget all the song and dance about the meeting that Roman Abramovich had with the players, pressure that he came under. Had Jose Mourinho pull the rug from beneath their season? Well, in a curious sort of way, Mourinho might even have done them a favour by knocking them out of the Champions League, establishing their focus on the domestic trophies, which are now both within their grasp. Free kick there to Aston Villa. And merely 30 seconds remaining on the watch. Ashley Young with the free kick, headed away by John Obi Mikel. It's been some good performances at the back today for Chelsea. And they'll break again now, and Malouda gets clear of Warner. It's Florent Malouda. Back to Nicola Anelka. Frank Lampard! 3-0 Chelsea! Heading to the final with something to spare. They can't quite believe it. But Chelsea have finished the stronger. And Martin O'Neill's team are on the end of another big defeat.
How well does Frank Lampard do when he catches the ground up? How often have we seen him do this? All right, I know the game's already won, it's already over and done with. Doesn't matter. Malouda's bursting forward, he's already making up the ground, he's already sprinting past the claret and blue shirts, and then has the presence, the cool head, just to pick a spot in the corner and give Brad Friedel no chance. Brilliant, brilliant finish.
4 against Villa a fortnight ago for Frank Lampard. He rounds off the job with his 19th FA Cup goal for Chelsea, moves up to 3rd on that particular club list now alongside Peter Osgood. They're the mere details. Scoreline barely tells the story of the afternoon. Aston Villa have been right in this semi-final for 3/4 of the game. But Chelsea's strength and class has been the difference in the end. And it's a smiling Carlo Ancelotti who will go to the final. Chelsea, with goals from Drogba, from Malouda and from Lampard, are victorious on the afternoon. Final score at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 3.
And I'm sure that Martin O'Neill and the Villa players will remain angry about that first half penalty decision, but in the end it was convincingly Chelsea. Chelsea into the final. Gareth Southgate and Marcel Desailly with their thoughts after the break.